So, we wanted to do the signing, please.
It's in chilling pesetas or something. 10 million chilling pesetas.
Okay.
Shake hands, let's get one really close.
So welcome to Fax TV. I want to introduce Luke Ambler and Tony Abbott. Welcome to Fax TV for the first time, chaps.
Yeah, thanks, thank you.
Thought I'd get this one quickly out of the way. The big announcement isn't the verification on Twitter. Sorry, everybody. To let you understand what that was about for us and why it's important for our marketing and our social media. It means Twitter, the San Francisco company, recognise us as a club, as a social media channel. For rugby league purposes, that is pretty big. Until now, we only have Super League clubs and NRL clubs. So for us to be also recognised as a social media force with some of the other clubs out there, it was pretty important for us as we progress further with our social media marketing. But that wasn't the announcement. This man next door to me is the announcement. Mr. Ambler, we've just seen you sign a 3-year extension to keep in the blue and whites.
Yeah, that's right.
You must be happy about that, surely.
Yeah, I'm over at Moan. It's security for me and my family. I love the club. I love everything that's going on here. And I think, you know, we haven't made a lot of noise all year off the field because of we want to go about as business, and we're just about doing that now. And we've just hopefully put ourselves in a position to hopefully grab that second spot.
Has it been an easy decision? Have you had a long time to think about it?
I won't lie, it's been a really hard decision. If I were to make it with my heart, it'd be Halifax all day long. But I had to think what was going to be best for my family and my career. And at one point, I was close to going full time. But the way performances have gone the last few weeks and the way that I feel about this club, it's too good to turn down to stay here. And the job that I've been given with the club, I'm really excited about doing, so hopefully I can help take the club forward on and off the field.
We've only been around for a while doing the commercial elements of the business. Can you tell us how you've developed this and how your Give Us a Try campaign's been going?
Yeah, we came up with an initiative called Give Us a Try, and it's basically about going into schools and try to get enticing parents to come down with a real good deal that we offered. I basically go in, do an assembly to the kids, ask question and answer about myself, about the team, the other players, about the sport of rugby league. And myself and Mike Riley, we go in, and the ticket offer is really good. It's kind of hard to turn down. It's really good. We've had some real good response off the kids, and we're also going into a couple of schools coaching as well. So we're developing some really good relationships with some schools. We're getting asked back to go now and open libraries and award days. So stuff that Halifax have probably never done. We're doing it in some schools that we've never really been linked with in the north of Halifax. Schools that probably aren't as well off as some other schools, and they seem to be really buying into it. So something I'm looking forward to seeing build.
What's the ages that you've been working with?
Primary school ages initially, ages 5 to 11, and obviously we're going to develop that. And next year we've just come up with an idea that we're going to go into high schools as well, and then into businesses. And we're going to run out this Give Us a Try campaign across all boards to hopefully try and make people of Halifax understand what we are doing down here and get people back, and what the initiative says, give us a try.
When you've seen these kids for the first time, is it easier if they've never seen rugby league before, or is it trying to convert those little kids who are playing in the streets but they're playing in a Rhino shirt or a Bull shirt but live locally?
Yeah, that's hard to see when you go in the schools, but if I'm being honest, the kids that already know about rugby are a little bit easier, because some of the families are anti-rugby league in a sense. They either love football or love rugby union. To try to convert them is probably not the right word. What we will try to do is we try to go into these schools and just educate them on what rugby league is and what we are about as a club. And if they then buy into that because their friend loves the game, so if we can just go into that school and just convince one person to come, then they'll tell their friends and their families, and it works like that. It's like a snowball effect. Then that's good for the club, because obviously that person hadn't been before. So if we're going to 112 schools there is, and we get one person from each, so we've got 112 more supporters.
So my understanding is when you've been going to school assemblies, you've been getting them to sing the Halifax chants.
Yeah, the old Ali song, and we've come out with a bit of a statement. I wanted to try to blow the roofs off and get the teachers like this, and it has been that way. it's been pretty mad, to say the least. We have a lot of screaming kids, but they're all buying into it. And one of the biggest positives for me with doing it is I did it at Whitehall School, and my little boy goes to the nursery there. And my missus didn't know I'd been in the school that morning, and she went to pick Alfie up from nursery, and she overheard loads of the kids who were at the after school group together all singing the song. No, they didn't know Lisa were with me, and that's probably the biggest one that's got me out of them all, where they didn't know anything, that anyone were there, and they were all singing it, and I thought that was great.
Have you managed to introduce Halifax to these kids?
Yeah, we'll bring Halifax in now and again. It's a bit of fun with Halifax when he comes in, so kids go real crazy then. They're not really bothered about having rugby players in there or anything like that. As soon as a big cat comes in, it's all mad.
Tell us about the commercial element of your role. What is it you're trying to get from the businesses then?
Originally, when I first got on board, the role changed, and I originally meant to do more of an ambassador role, so I meant to go and support as commercial director, and we've just come up with a way how to utilise that better now. So when a new commercial manager, or however the club decide to do it, comes on board, then I'll go assist them and help them bring on sponsorship, whether that's just from being a player, or it's by going around and talking and sharing my passion with the club, or how I feel we feel that can only help out and rub off onto the sponsors. Obviously, we're going to be targeting local people, and hopefully try to get them on board.
Tony, if I could manage to throw this one to yourself, what's it like having a player like Luke, who's born and bred here, bleeds blue and white, but selling our brand?
Yeah, I remember the day that Luke joined us. Was it a couple of years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the hype around the club. Local lad come from Leeds. Was born and bred there and come back to play for his home club. And I think that the spirit just lifted everyone at the time. I know Luke very well outside the club now. I know where he could have gone, and I think it's an absolute massive goal for Halifax to get his signature. The 3 years extension is pretty much committed now down here to the journey, and that's all we asked 2 or 3 years ago is to get people to buy into the journey. So it's great that Luke's done that, and the stuff that he's doing off the field, the awareness, creating awareness. We always said that there was a missing generation in the club, and by going out, and just hearing the tales, first time I've heard that story about Luke going to pick his lad up, and hearing that type of age group start singing the Halifax songs, that's what we need to do, because that is the future. If we're going to be down here and we're going to strive and we're going to hit and achieve all our goals that we want to do, we need that type of fan to be on the terraces. So we've got to keep going. That's great work. So pleasure to have the lad around.
Do you think that's where this season has been quite crazy, hasn't it? The other teams have been quite heavily in the news. Do you think like you said, it's a journey, it's a passion? We don't need to scream it from the rooftops, because that's the way we're moving as a club.
Well, there's I've got to be careful what I say here now, I guess. There's different ways that you can do it. You can go and spend money that you haven't got today on the hope of where you get, but then the problem I see with that is when you get to the promised land, or whatever the promised land is, you haven't got the money then to back up when you got there. So that's not the right way to do it. Or you can go out and talk about what may happen, knowing full well what you're talking about ain't going to happen. And I think Halifax as a club have just done it the right way. We just, everyone goes, talks about, we're just going to get on with our own business, and that's what we've pretty much done. Just worrying about ourselves, and you don't have to worry about anyone else. Just look after yourself, and surprisingly, the results come.
On part of that, though, on you playing for Halifax, you do actually have your own business elsewhere. You've got Fax Fit.
Yeah.
How are you going to manage Fax Fit and everything else going in? And how is Fax Fit going for you?
Yeah, it's doing all right. Originally set up Fax Fit, I just come back from the World Cup. I wanted somewhere I could train full time. It wasn't about earning money, and it's still in. Fax Fit's about a facility I can train in. If we can help other people in the same time, that's great. I started training in a sense with Adam Robinson around this concept of CrossFit, and we decided to set up his own entity, Fax Fit. And it's just somewhere I can go during the day, escape, and I don't have to worry about dropping a weight and someone shouting me. I can do what I want. I can flip tyres, push a prowler. I can go nuts. And Fax Fit, I owe a lot to Fax Fit, really. As daft as it sounds for this year, I've lost a lot of weight. I felt like I've got in shape, and I put a lot of that start at Fax Fit and the lifestyle that's created for me. So time-wise, you know, we've got a guy running that now, Dan Fleming, and he's doing a great job. And it's just, I still love going down there and being a part of it, and the buzz that creates. And again, there's a lot of Halifax fans who come and they seem to love it and be a part of it. So we can hopefully keep growing Fax Fit. That'd be another benefit, I suppose.
And just for everybody at home, it's faxfit.co.uk. If you want to know more information or the timetables, I'll do selling for you.
Yeah, at Fax Fit on Twitter.
So, away from that, and talking about your fitness, when me and Carl speak every week, he keeps it cool up that you're an endurance player these days. Have you enjoyed developing into such a role, and has the game changed where prop forwards need to be endurance players? Or is it just a case of that's when you left the World Cup scenario, left the Irish team, that's where you needed to move as a player to make sure you were in the team week in, week out?
If we go back to when I first come, I've always been an endurance prop. When I played Super League, I played a lot of minutes, and I played at Academy, I played a lot of minutes. First come Halifax, I was an endurance prop. I've always liked playing big minutes. It's what I've always done. And if I've been honest, last year I let myself down big style. I got comfy. I'd let myself go in all aspects of life, in my fitness, in the way I trained, the way I ate, the things I was doing, and it wasn't good, and it showed in my performances. I ballooned, and
Injury as well.
yeah, an injury as well, which probably contributed to that. And if I'm being honest, yeah, I let myself down a bit last year, and got to the World Cup probably reignited everything that I always want to be as a player. And then I came back to Halifax with a real passion to be back at Halifax after that World Cup, and had a few points to prove, and hopefully I'm starting to do that now, and hopefully I can just get fitter and better, and hopefully I can just hopefully try to play well for the team, because if we get second, it's massive for the club financially and for where we stand in the league. And but one thing I don't want to say, that's not the end. Coming second in the end, you know, that we've got next year then, and then we're going to hopefully try and do well in that league, and then it's so on and so on. And we've got a bigger picture here that we don't shout and scream about, but everyone's got a goal in the back of their mind that we're all striving for. And I honestly believe deep down, the reason I signed a 3-year deal is because I think I want to be a part of that and help lead that forward.
I'm going to ask you this, because I asked Carl the other week, and it'd be interesting to know what you say as a player. What, for this season alone, drives you regarding the league position versus the grand final? Previous years, it's always about getting yourself the advantage for the grand final. This year, there's been a lot of emphasis in positions regarding financial clout, always been about that top two. And in a weird way, the grand final at Headingley has been a second thought.
Yeah.
But from a player's perspective, what's it been like for you guys?
Probably personally, because I know the way clubs are run at this level, and the real financial strains and what goes on. I know the importance of coming second. I know what it means for where the league standings are going to be next year, what possibilities we get of coming second. So, and obviously coming second comes before grand final. So where we come in the league comes before grand final. So it's like if we had a Challenge Cup game this weekend, that would come before the if we had Northern Rail Cup final or whatever that would be, it'd come before becoming second. I've always believed in you've got to play your next game, so then worry about it. And at the minute we're doing that, we're playing each game as it comes, and it just so happens that we've become second. We're 1 point behind second. We haven't shouted and screamed about it to ourselves in camp. We've just took each game at a time. Grand finals were massive. You know, when I first come here, one of the reasons why I signed originally, we went to Northern Rail Cup with these guys, and it were amazing. The coming back here after and seeing the Fax on fire and all that were absolutely amazing. It's definitely a career highlight for me, being a part of that. It was crazy seeing all the fans. I think we had 8,000 with us or something like that. It was madness, and to be able to do that again in grand final, I think it'll be the same effect. But obviously coming second, going forward for the future, is massive. So we do need fans to come down now to back us, to help us get second. As daft as that may sound to some, them coming down here helps us get second. They're behind us, they're our 18th man, as we've said before. But then after that, we want to have a good crack at that grand final, I believe, and I think all lads will think the same. And I think we've got a good chance, and hopefully we can go on and do that.
Do you feel that buzz is coming? Do you feel?
I think it's here now.
You think it's here now?
I think it's here now. I don't think the buzz. The problem with this league this year is it's no one knows what's going to happen. Even yourself as a team, you could go out and you could play work into who who got beat the week before 16-0, they come in and they bash us. It's the same way. North Wales Crusaders, I remember speaking to Paul White after they'd played them. They played them the week after. Said they were all strutting around as if they were superstars, and Keighley went there and smashed them. But then they come here and beat us. So it's just one of them seasons, and Carl alluded to that a few times, and people have looked up at or down at it and thought, I don't know if I'm buying into that. You know, what's going on in this league? But it's true. Featherstone this week, I remember getting. I write for 4020 magazine. I remember getting a message before saying, what do you think about that you're not going to become second now? He's happy that he's probably going to have to fight for third or fourth. Now we're within 4 weeks later, we're within 1 point away from being second place. So the league, you know, it could turn on its head at any point. Doncaster could still come up. You know, anything can happen, and I think you just got to keep on your feet in this league. I mean, you can't get too ahead of yourself with a win, and that's a big point for every team.
You're looking forward to the Batley Hill?
Yeah, it's always fun there. Prefer going down than up, I suppose. But no, it's always a tough game against Batley. There's a lot of, I suppose, of every team of Halifax seems to be a rivalry, but there's a huge rivalry against Batley. I don't know if it's through the history with Carl being there and they're just on our doorstep, but it always seems to be a tough game. You know, last time I played them down here, tough. They managed to scrape a win against us in last minute, steal a win, and then the friendly over there were feisty. So I'm expecting a tough one, and I think it'll be a really good game.
When it comes to games like Batley, it's such a condensed pitch, but yet again, we only played at Owlerton, the postcard, as Carl calls it. Is it a case of you do look at the previous games and think, you know, like they beat us towards the end, or is it a case of no, we're doing well, or is it like option C, Batley and Batley only? We'll treat Batley and that pitch because we know what the pitch is like. And for you as a player, is it that pitch is going to be a nightmare for me, or is it a case of I need to play as many big minutes as I can? Yeah,
I think you just take, like I said before, each game as it comes. We'll look at it. We'll do a game review Wednesday, Friday. We've put the last game to bed now on Monday, and we'll look and we'll go, right, we've got Batley. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What can we do to counteract them? And then we'll go there with his game plan, and hopefully we'll do that, and hopefully we'll get the win.
Got two side questions away from what we've just been talking about. So, since we've got you on Fax TV for the first time, what's been your biggest rugby challenge up to today? So not just your Halifax career, what has been your biggest challenge you think you've faced?
As in like biggest games?
Anything, coming back from injury, or like you said, from this year?
The biggest that stands out, and as in challenge, we're probably adapting from full-time to part-time. That what I was alluding to a minute ago about coming down to the league. Obviously I was on dual reg first year, so I was still training full-time with Leeds. And then coming down that second year, it was tough. It was tough getting your head around. Is that dream of Super League now over? You know, what is it? But I suppose that was tough. And then the other one probably playing for England, for Ireland against England, and we're walking out. This was pretty crazy, seeing like 32,000 people coming off the bench. My first game for the World Cup, and that were a big challenge. Just getting your head around being in such a massive sporting event, and knowing that you're part of that. And it probably gives you like goosebumps now thinking about how big of an occasion that really was.
Which player have you actually gone against and you just thought, Blummeneck, wow, you know, that's a superstar? I suppose well in the World Cup events, maybe Australia. Yeah,
against Australia, it was massive. And probably now the one who stands out thinking about it is Jared Hayne. He's probably one of the world's best players at the minute. He's killing it for Parramatta and New South Wales, and he was really good that game. When I've watched it back, and it's crazy to think you could go through all their team. Greg Bird, you know, Jonathan Thurston, Daly Cherry Evans, some Billy Slater. You know, these players they're huge, and to think that I did get an opportunity to play against them, still pinch myself probably. But yeah, you could pick any Australian team, even the England team. It were extraordinary being able to do that.
And Tony, we'll go back to you. By the way, this is being filmed in July 2014, and he is real. He is over here with us. Tony, some fans thought you've disappeared. You've just been busy with your own reactive, or has you just been trying to let the clubs do their own business with you obviously being involved with the board?
No, far from it, to be honest. Just been hard at work at Reactive. It's all about new products and new brands that we're building. I've got involved with a radio show and a TV show now, so I've been time and money into that. And it was just time for me. I felt that, you know, I approached the board and said, look, you know, it's maybe time for me just to take a little backward step for the minute, keep involved, but maybe not not that day-to-day association that I was pretty much getting into, and the board were very comfy in and realised that I needed time away. They allowed me to do that, and then just recently I've been over to the States with Ian for his birthday do. We had a long conversation and said it's probably about time for me to start showing my face, which, you know, it's always what I want to do. You know, the first thing I do on a Sunday at 3 o'clock is make sure that I get the results on my phone wherever in the world. So it's certainly not the passion, but I just had to go away for a bit and sort myself out, which I've done.
Well, thank you very much, gents. So we can say Luke signed up for another 3 years, and this man's real, and he's still with us, and we still need all your support. So thank you very much. Congratulations on your 3 years extension. We'll see you all soon.